I would like to call up Grace Han from China. She will give you a short overview of the movement in China. So, welcome, Grace Han.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace. I'm originally from China, but I currently live in the United Kingdom. I have a short country report here for you all. Just something about the movement in China at the moment, and just a brief overview of what's happening over there, and what are we working at, and what's the future outlook. I think everyone has heard about the situations in China. It's mainly about the illegal dog and cat meat trade. And I'm sure many of you have seen loads of footages and blog posts and media reports and everything. But regarding the meat trade, it's not only in China, it's mainly in the Southeast Asian countries as well. So Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, and also South and North Korea, they're all involved in it. But in Thailand and Laos and Cambodia, in that area, they recently the government has agreed to work together towards an ending for this trade in the next 5 years, which is really a big breakthrough for that area. But China and Korea, they remain the largest countries of consuming dog meat and supplying dog meat, and also exporting dog meat to the surrounding countries as well. And also in China, loads of people do consume cat meat as well. So there has not yet been an efficient way of tackling the problems in China regarding the dog and cat meat trade just yet. And basically because the scale of it is just too huge. And without more large organizations to support all these little campaigns and support the local group is it's time consuming, and then it will take a very long time and many manpowers to try to get everything and then make people more aware about this situation. And also the truth is, many people in China, the native Chinese people, they don't realize where the dog meat and cat meat are from. They thought the dogs and cats were bred in farms and for their meat only, and so therefore eating them is okay, but that is not the case. Most of the meat supplies will come from poisoned strays and captured stray dogs, and also stolen family pets. And all these have been reported on our blogs and then all over Facebook, but still many Chinese people, they don't know about this. And I don't know if you have heard the microblog Weibo is like equivalent to Twitter in China, because Twitter and Facebook is blocked. So if you're not very technical, and you cannot access Twitter and Facebook. So therefore, many of the activists in China, they were blocked from the rest of the world. And so that gives them another difficulty to kind of learn from the Western experiences and to use social media to kind of reach their goals. And so Weibo is well known and used by the younger generations in China, but there's only, I'd say, 5% of the population in China have online access, but majority of them, they don't go on the internet. And if the media do not report these kind of things, so they have no way of knowing where the meat they're eating come from, and they don't know maybe the dog or cat is their next door neighbor's family pet, and then which by stealing them, and then so many people, they suffer from dramas of losing family pets, and then the major concern is like, I lost my dog. I wonder what happened to him. Like, but the first concern is they must be eaten and then sold to restaurants. They must have suffered a horrible death. And that's the first thing come up in people's head when they lose their pets. So, and that's a horrible thought. And my parents, they have suffered exactly thing. So there is until today, there is only one native Chinese organization that is working solely towards the ending of this trade, but we're progressing very slowly, thank you, which is Guangdong the Best. The abbreviation is GDTB, and that's the organization my colleague Shandai is from. What they do is they are a group of organized volunteers, and they work from undercover investigation and to collecting evidences of this dog and cat meat trade, and also taking these evidences to local authorities and to pressure them while using the laws of food safety to try to tackle this trade. And that's the only law they could use in China, is because there is no laws to protect animals, and there's no law to against cruelty to animals. So anybody can do anything to an animal in an open space, and nobody really can, apart from their personally go over and stop them and try to save the animal. They can't bring them to court and then punish. They don't get punished at all. So you can imagine, because of that, the scale of the problem, it doesn't only lie within the illegal dog and cat meat trade. And now I want to say, the dog and cat meat trade, where it all begin and where it all come from? Why is it so bad in China? It's not. One reason is because there's no laws to protect animals. Also, because the result of it is the animal abuse and don't get punished, and also there's irresponsible ownership as well. So many people in China, they walk their dogs without leash, and they don't pick up the dog's poop, and then it causes a social impact, and a lot of people start to hate dogs and hate dog owners. And basically there's no educational campaigns. Well, there is, but not enough to teach people, to teach the general public of how to be a responsible dog owner and to protect their animals by putting a leash on their dog. Because if you don't leash your dog, you walk around in China on the street, they could be poisoned. They could pick up the food that the dog smugglers put on the side of the road, and then they get poisoned. And also, there has been many cases, the dog's owners was about 2 meters away from their pet, and then their dog was snatched by someone. And the owner tried to fight back and then take the dog back, and then they were injured by these people. They are organized, the criminal gangs, to collecting and snatching, stealing dogs, and then for the as supplies for the meat trade. And another problem that caused these issues in China is the cultural influence. I think this goes way deeper and more complicated. I think for many Western people, it's hard to understand the Chinese culture, let alone, something underneath it that it takes a lot of time to explain. So if you want to find out more about the problems in China and how are we working trying to tackle this, or if you want to find out how perhaps in the future you could contribute and help us to help the animals in China, we have a longer presentation at about at 7 o'clock this evening in room B, and we very welcome you to join us, and we can discuss this a bit further. Thank you.